Hello fanbase and new viewers. The Roblox Myth community is full of different kinds of notable figures. Some of them are really well liked and admired, while others are hated and even ridiculed. When discussing this topic, there are some people that we all think of. In this video, we will be going over the story of a former Roblox myth, one that went from being beloved and respected to problematic and controversial. Some of the controversies and drama they were in ultimately led to their downfall, as well as their departure from the Roblox myth community. For those that were around prior to 2020, this name might sound familiar. This is the story of Gopherberry, the rise and fall of a Roblox myth. So, who is Gopherberry? For those of you that don't know, Gopherberry was a Roblox myth that became infamous for being aggressive and dangerous due to her use of IP tracking. Her games mainly consisted of themes including heartbreak, substance abuse, and mental illness. Along with this, her games were very dark in tone and theme. Some of them are still up, which I'll go over later. Gopherberry had quite a few connections to other myths, which meant she wasn't small. She was also active on social media platforms such as Discord and Twitter. There is one thing that I need to clear up before moving forward. Even though the Gopherberry myth was a male, the account owner was a female in real life. She has made this known on the Gopherberry account. Because of this, I'll refer to Gopherberry as she or her. Gopherberry's story dates all the way back to January 29, 2018, so over 4 years ago as of recording this. This day also marks the 1-year anniversary of Orinen's account being created. At this time, Gopherberry was known to stalk players for various amounts of time and do stuff such as staring down her targets. A bit after this, Gopherberry released her first game, Long Live Our Love, on April 2nd, 2018. Several games that are connected to Long Live Our Love were also released that same month. Gopherberry soon began gaining traction, but not in the way you might expect. You see, she would stalk myth hunters until they reported her, and she would then request them to join her game. Some of the players who joined Gopherberry's games reported their screen flashing colors, which led to their computers crashing or the server being shut down by Gopherberry herself. Later on in the year, Gopherberry became infamous for leaking the addresses of Roblox users Helvetica Scenario and Skylox250. For whatever reason, some people praised and respected her for this. During this same time period, Gopherberry became friends with fellow Roblox myth Dr. Mac, and this led to her being ranked in various Roblox myth hunting groups. A few months after these incidents happened, Gopherberry created social media accounts. Her Twitter account has been suspended for violating terms of service. She would also be seen in Roblox Shadelight investigations. Due to this, she became a well-liked figure amongst Roblox myth hunters. Gopherberry continued to release new games. The most popular game to come out of this is Library of Nirvana, which I'll talk about later. In the later half of 2018, Gopherberry helped out on the myth community wiki in ways such as creating character renders and editing pages every now and then. For anyone that is curious, her fandom username is Poblorso. However, she hasn't done anything to the wiki in a while. On January 7th, 2019, it was reported that Gopherberry had committed suicide. Many were skeptical about the validity of this until one of her family members confirmed it the following day. Because of this, the Roblox myth community created a game simply known as Gopher and held a funeral to remember Gopherberry. Obviously, the game is no longer playable since the funeral happened over 3 years ago. To add more to this, Cerros, a former Roblox's myths developer, posted a message on the announcements channel. The message read,
Gopherberry joined Roblox on January 29, 2018. He passed away on January 6, 2019. We do not know how old he was when he passed. Gopherberry's passing was first revealed by his friend who had begun the Gopherberry account with him. It was confirmed that he passed by a member of his immediate family, whose identity will be kept private as requested. Gopherberry was a well-known myth in the community, whose event to many, and despite his controversial career as an M-genre developer, he had made a large impact on the community as a whole. It is asked that we do not bring any sort of negative attention towards his tragedy. Please refrain from making light of his passing.
Because Gopherberry was dead, this meant that the development of Super Myth Bros, an unfinished and possibly lost Roblox game, came to a stop. One of the developers, 13 Alan Rod 13, would end up creating a new Discord server as well as continuing the game with other Roblox developers such as Tempest and Spimp. The Gopherberry story would take a dramatic twist the following month. In February of 2019, the news broke out that Gopherberry had faked committing suicide, which meant that she was not dead. In fact, she was alive and joined the Days Union under the name Macabre Day. This was made known via a now deleted Twitter thread made by an account known as Lady Sarah. Understandably, the Roblox mid community was outraged by this, with reactions ranging from angry to distraught to confused. The Twitter thread spread like wildfire, and this resulted in the parties involved being questioned by the members of the Days Union. Not much occurred after these events, and everything went back to normal. Nowadays, Gopherberry is a developer for other Roblox myth and horror games. She occasionally works on projects for Roblox myth groups. She has also been creating Roblox myth accounts and selling them to people in exchange for either Robux or real-life money. However, take this with a grain of salt as it is unconfirmed if this is true. Gopherberry has had several appearances throughout her time on Roblox, and I'll be going over 2 of them. Her most iconic avatar consisted of an all-black appearance with an evil-looking mask. Specifically, she's wearing the Dark Tutor mask. Anyway, Gopherberry's avatar currently consists of a peach skin tone along with the Roblox girl torso, the Waterfall Waves UGC hat, the black braided boho buns UGC hat, the boho braided bun in black UGC hat, the black leather skirt and cheetah print summery top pants, and the toy animation pack. In my opinion, this avatar looks pretty good since it is able to resemble a real person. I like how her hair looks since it has a nice style to it. It's not too detailed but not too simple either. Overall, I give Gopherberry's avatar a 10 out of 10 since it looks really nice. Gopherberry's personality varies depending on the time period you're talking about. When she was in the mid community, Gopherberry was known to act like a regular person on social media. However, this was not the case on Roblox. In-game, she was very aggressive and easily got mad at things such as standing on a table. One behavior that Roblox mid-hunters reported was that Gopherberry would sometimes sacrifice other players with weapons that she somehow obtained. It was also reported that Gopherberry had multiple alternate accounts. These claims have not been confirmed nor denied, so we don't know if this is true. A list of these supposed alternate accounts include Gambio, OKGA, and Tiki V12. However, OKGA was later revealed to be a real-life friend of Gopherberry, therefore this cannot be one of her alternate accounts. As mentioned before, Gopherberry has released games during her time as a Roblox myth. What I didn't know is that she released a lot of games. Because of this, I'm only going to be going over one of them. So, all of the games are The Library of Nirvana, Long Live Our Love, and Shattered. The most popular of the 3 is The Library of Nirvana, with over 11,000 place visits at the time of writing this. The game was created on April 23rd, 2018, and was last updated on September 23rd, 2020, so over a year ago at the time of writing this. Since I can, I'll be talking about what can be found in-game. So, the player spawns in a room that contains a lot of bookshelves as well as a few secrets. Some paintings are scattered around the map, including the area behind the spawn. It seems that a lot of the paintings are of Gopherberry's avatar. On the walls, there are stone paths that act as ladders. However, it seems like they don't work at the current moment. It is still possible to go to the upper levels, which I'll talk about later. One of the bookshelves has something interesting, in which one of the books is on the ground. The book's cover reads, "Don't fear him." There is a figure that takes the place of the fallen book. Looking around the bottom level of the map, there are only more bookshelves and a few paintings. What's interesting is that one of the paintings is of the Mona Lisa. You know how I said it was hard to get up to the second floor? Well, using one of the paintings, it becomes possible to do so. Like the first floor, there are some bookshelves on the walls. However, there are 2 interesting things that can be found here. On one end of the room, there is a dome with a tree inside of it. I personally think this is cool because of what it could possibly mean. There were also more paintings of Gopherberry, with one of them showing her holding a cat. On the other end of the room, there is a dome that contains a statue of Gopherberry's most iconic avatar. Even though this seems like everything that can be found in-game, it actually isn't. If you go to the corner left of spawn, the player has to type Karma. This will open a part of the wall that one can go through. The thing that can be found inside here is a small bump in the ground emitting black smoke. The player can type the word fire, and this will open up a hole in front of the bump in the ground. The word 8 has to be typed in to progress further. However, this is the farthest that the player can go at the current moment, as no new words have been discovered. If any does get discovered, I'll make sure to talk about it in a future video. Other than that, there's not really anything else to see in game. I personally think that this game is interesting enough for the viewer to check out. Besides, there's more to the game that is unsolved. I would go over Gopherberry's other games, but the video would get very long if I did. Gopherberry has been in several controversies in a short amount of time. One example is her being ranked in Roblox myth groups. Around mid-2018, Gopherberry was consistently getting ranked in various myth hunting groups as an extremely dangerous myth that everyone should avoid. Gopherberry was also in a notorious feud with fellow Roblox myth Mugen due to her being friends with Coats of Cloud. What was so special about this friendship? Well, Coats of Cloud was accused of being a pedophile, but these claims were later proven to be false. Gopherberry also supported Morgine for a brief period of time after their main account was revealed. She also supported the hashtag StopKazda movement when it was a thing, but stopped doing so after she argued with Morgine. For those who don't know, StopKazda was a hashtag that became popular in August 2020 because a former Roblox myth by the name of Kazdam was exposed for being a pedophile, as well as owning several large myth accounts. This resulted in the Roblox's myths group having new owners and Shadelight to be cancelled. All of these controversies have contributed to Gopherberry's reputation going down the drain. It has also affected how some people view Gopherberry overall. As one might know, trivia is just extra facts that are relevant enough to make it onto the video. So, without further ado, let's get into it. The first piece of trivia is that Gopherberry was known to be very hard to interrogate. This is supported by the fact that she was able to escape the Roblox's myths interrogation room 3 times. I guess the woman hates speaking to others. Anyway, the second piece of trivia is that Gopherberry was known to play the masquerade for hours at a time, and was also seen sacrificing players. Just so you know, the Masquerade is a game made by fellow myth hunter Taffies. Go play it if you want to. The third piece of trivia is that Gopherberry is known to be a fan of 60s music and that her favorite artist is Amy Winehouse. So, she's into older music. The fourth piece of trivia is that Gopherberry has been referenced in other Roblox myth games. One case of this is her appearing in an arcade game in Circus of the Sky. Along with this, a statue surrounded with black roses was added to the masquerade as a reference to Gopherberry. The fifth piece of trivia is that when Gopherberry died, a lot of myth games added roses to graves in memory of her. If you didn't know, the most common reference to Gopherberry is a rose. The sixth piece of trivia is that Gopherberry revealed she had a cat in a now deleted Twitter post. The seventh and final piece of trivia is that Gopherberry is the owner of a group called The Perished. The group has almost 300 members at the time of writing this, and you should join it if you want to. There is more trivia that I could include, but they're not that relevant to the video. So, what did we learn in this video? Gopherberry is a former Roblox myth that was known to be very dangerous and controversial due to her actions while being a Roblox myth. Gopherberry was rather popular amongst myth hunters and was ranked in various Roblox myth hunting groups. Her story dates all the way back to early 2018 and started releasing games later in the year. Gopherberry had committed suicide in January of 2019, and this led to the myth community holding memorial services for her. However, this was later found to be false. Because of this, many people started hating Gopherberry overall. Tons of controversies followed her, and this led to her reputation going down the drain. Nowadays, Gopherberry is a developer for other horror and myth games. A lot of Gopherberry's games deal with themes such as heartbreak, substance abuse, and mental illness. Regardless, her games have been visited by many people in the Roblox myth community. She acted very aggressively and posed a threat to regular players, and has even been seen sacrificing players. Other controversies have not helped Gopherberry's image at all, as mentioned earlier. Despite all of the negative attention Gopherberry has drawn, she is still remembered in the Roblox myth community for being a great myth. With that being said, Gopherberry will forever be a famous Roblox myth figure, and that's everything.